What's up everyone? Today let's try out this new leader from OP08.5, the new starter decks, Marco. What he does is, if he has one down under, you can activate main once per turn. You draw a card, then you place one card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck, and then you give one of your opponent's character minus 2000 power for this turn. It's a very strong ability. It's a leader that can clear board very easily, but finding the right balance for this leader is a little bit hard because you want KO power, you want minus power cards as well. On the other hand, you have to protect yourself. If this leader goes to the late game, you can do things like playing a Sanji out of the top of your deck. You can play a Newgate, or you can play the big Newgate, an Ace and rush it, or a Rayleigh and minus things and KO. So that's pretty easy to pull out, because with the leader ability you can set the card on the top of your deck. This leader also relies on this new Ace, that so this card has rush if your leader has Whitebeard pirates. Marco does have Whitebeard pirates, right? He is a Whitebeard pirate. So based on that, this character has rush. And also, if this character is gonna get removed from the board, you can, instead of that, choose to give minus 2k power, and it doesn't get removed once per turn. You can do that. Cards like Pudding are very good, because in this meta there are a lot of decks that rely on building up a large hand. Sequake ends up KOing characters with 5k power or less because of the leader ability. So you give minus 2k, you bring a 5k to 3k, and then you can KO with Sequake. And one problem with this leader that I've seen a lot is card starving, so Sanji's Pilaf here can help you with that. Also searching things with Iso, and having the Doffy that can arrange the top. That's very helpful to make sure you can dig out the cards you need when you need it. We are playing a couple of 2Ks here, so for that, for 2Ks, we're relying on cards that also have some functional purpose, like Otama, that is a 2K but can give minus 2k power to a character for a turn. We're relying on Touch, that is a new card from the starter decks as well, that can give minus 2k power, and then you get the top cards from your life into your hand, but mostly you use it as 2Ks. So, and we also have a searchable Jozu, so which helps you to, if you search with Iso, you can bring it to your hand. You don't have to bottom deck your 2Ks. That's pretty much it. So let's try out this deck. Let's go out there and do some gameplays. And here we go, our first game against Purple Luffy. Purple Luffy is dangerous if they see the new cards like Luftaro and Sangoro, but in OP08.5 it's still not that consistent, so it's not always that they can see everything they need. It makes sense to get this Ace. Ace has rush, it helps a lot, and yeah, that's all we can do here. We can pass the turn. We get our first 2k, it will help to prevent some attacks. Purple Luffy tends to be very aggressive, so it's good to have 2Ks available. And let's go all in. They do the right thing here. Doesn't make too much sense of countering an 8k attack at this stage of the game and give up of 2 card it's in your hand. So let's do leader effect, filter our hand a little bit. We can get rid of this, maybe this ISO. Yeah, we don't need it now. So nothing to minus, and yeah, they simply attack for 5k. That's a small attack, no point in taking damage early game. They are pretty aggressive as well as taking life to ramp, and we can take advantage on that because we have some rush characters in our hand. But for now we can just shrink their hand with a pudding before we attack, because yeah, every card that they get rid of now to counter attacks, it hurts them. They were very comfortable with a large hand. Well, I think that they didn't count with us running pudding, but remember guys, if you're playing against blue, always count on that they will throw a pudding, and make sure you don't have a lot of cards in hand, because that's very hurting. They have 2 Magellans. We don't have anything to bottom deck, so those Magellans will stay around for a while. There is no interest for us in KOing them, because we will have to go down on Dawn for that, and we're trying to get to 8 to make sure we can play that Rayleigh if we need. So yeah, those Magellans will stay around for a while. Our opponent goes 5k. 5k is not enough, so we can counter this one. 7 with Magellan, that's a good number. Well, the Pilaf here, very good. We got a 2k and another blocker. Maybe we should save that other blocker so we can establish 2 blockers, Marco and that of Flamingo if we need, because only relying on one blocker, it's literally as much as having none, because of the Kaido. Kaido can KO one, so like we would, if we have one and they KO, the attack goes through. So here let's go 6k, test the waters. Our opponent takes it, and definitely we can't leave that Sangoro around, so let's give the leader to our leader, use leader ability, get rid of that extra Marco, -2 on the Sangoro, and KO with the Whitebeard. Newgate's very good in this deck. The fact that he gives 1 Dawn to one leader character when he comes down definitely makes a difference. Here's an example, right? I had 7 Dawn, it was tight, I wouldn't be able to trigger leader ability, but because of Newgate's ability I could. So yeah, 7k is something we can counter off as well. Not good to go to 0 because it only would take a Kaido to end the game. Probably that's what our opponent will do here. Yes, they do the Kaido, but they use the ability on Ace. I'm not sure they are aware that we can keep Ace around for only giving -2k. And here is game, right? Because we can give 1 Dawn, attack with that pudding. After that we could give 3 more Dawn to attack with Iso. So then we could go with Ace, Marco, and we would have still Dawn open to hit with an extra Ace. So yeah, there would be no way out for our opponent here. So let's start with the pudding. 5k, yeah, they counter out. Very good. Now we could go, okay, and that's it. Our opponent gives up. GG. And let's go. A match against Smoker. So Smoker is a good deck. Got much better with the new Tashigi. Let's get an ace here to have a body that can apply pressure. We want to hit them hard and put them into a position that they start to feel that pitching cards for counter is the right thing to do. Having the searcher here is very good because we can minus something with leader ability and put it in range for Iso to attack. But on the other hand, it's an easy way for our opponent to trigger their leader ability, because with -1 they create a 0 cost on our side, and then their leader gets +1k. A 2k is good here, so let's get rid of that Dofi. With that we just minus that the only character available, but that doesn't make any difference, we can't attack into it, so let's go for the leader. 7k. It's good, we hit the opponent, so let's get another 2k and send the rest to the bottom. We don't expect to cycle our entire deck here, so yeah, but in normal situations we should order how we want to send it to deck bottom, just to make sure we don't we see the cards that we need in case we go around our entire deck in a larger match, in a longer match. So yeah, we can take this one. So that Rina, it's a waste of an effect here. I think that our opponent just wanted to build a body, but now we can start to apply some pressure with this ace. Let's first attack with leader, just to avoid triggers from life or anything that they can interact with. And now we go out with ace. Ace is good because it demands our opponent to kill it either with 2 effects or by combat. So yeah, specifically in this match, very good. Here they do the right thing, they target our ace, because if we give -2k, it makes it much easier for them to kill it. And yeah, 7 on 4, we can defend it, so we should keep this body around. It's a good attacker, so yeah, we have plenty countering hand, we're still not out of it, we have 4k extra, so saving the ace makes total sense. And now we can just decide between spreading our dawn and attacking, or even putting that ace down and give -3 to 2 characters. But doing leader effect here to try to dig out something is good. Getting that 2k, yeah, it's something that we may need. Our opponent has attackers. We definitely can clear out that Hina, so that's probably the first thing we try to do here. The opponent should let this go, right? It's not like they will counter with 4k. And yeah, let's just go after our opponent's leader now, because we need to either take cards out of their hand or take their life. They pitched some good cards. I love to see that Borsalino going to the trash. because that's a card that's hard for us to deal with. We can't KO with Newgate, we can't KO with Rayleigh, so like our only option is to kill it by combat. So good to see it going. And that's something to consider, maybe having those Tiger Blades, and depending on your meta, if you have a lot of strong characters frequently coming to board, having that Red Rock, those things are something to consider. I feel that those would be good additions to this deck. And yeah, that's the first tweak I'll make, is to fine tune and add those cards. But we can talk more about that later. Now let's focus on the game. So the idea here is to go after that Tashigi. We should start with Izo. Izo is a better option here to attack first, so in case they get any triggers. Or so let's go 5-on-4. They should have counter for this, but well, they let it go. I think our opponent should start protecting their characters a little bit more, and yeah, let's go all in. They protect that life, which is a good decision. You don't want to go down to 1 in their situation. We have a lot of rush characters, we have 2 Izos here as well, so that's problematic for them if they don't handle them. Izo is very tricky here because either they will commit Dawn and kill it with Sengoku, or they'll have to dedicate a leader attack in this situation to destroy it. So yeah, very and it's very good for us if they don't, because we can invest a bit of Dawn and attack leader like we did this turn. They throw down a Borsalino, not what we want to see here. Now it's the time we could do the Sanji Ace combo. They don't have too many cards in hand, so or we can get rid of that Sea Quake as well. So let's put Ace on top, and maybe that's the best option here for us. To do that, give the minus, attack with Ace. So yeah, let's do first leader ability, and we get a Newgate out of it. Here Newgate doesn't have too much value, but that Rebecca is kind of annoying, and even if we do the Sanji Ace combo, they have 2 blockers, so probably they would get out of it. So yeah, let's send the Ace to the top. And now either we play the Sanji or we distribute our Dawn to attack and establish a Newgate, but I still feel that the Ace is the Sanji is the best option here. Maybe we can also get rid of that Rebecca and do a massive attack, or yeah, let's so doing that. Oh, and here is a misplay, right? First, because we could have gone with Sanji, and second, because like we could have waited to give one more Dawn to our leader and do an 8k attack instead of a 7k, if that was the route that we decide to go with. I really feel that Sanji and Ace would be the best option, but yeah, even doing the play the way we did, there was a big misplay there, definitely. And yeah, I wish I could go back now and do that Sanji. Still not bad, right? We're not in a terrible spot here. Our opponent developed a Tashigi. They have a blocker down, so we can still close the game here. We could give... No, we're not in a position to close the game yet, because if we give 3 Dawn to... Yeah, if we give 3 Dawn to Izo, we can't play the ace. So maybe the best thing is to, yeah, search. Let's try to find a 2K or something. No, we can't. Let's get the ace for a rusher. And we can minus their things. Go all out now for 7. If our opponent has the counter, that's good. If they don't, we would put them in a terrible spot. They give up, but I feel that they could make it even with Gecko Moria there. But yeah, that's it. GG. So our opponent's playing Sabo here. It's a very effective leader against us because it makes it harder for us to clear the board. So yeah, this Renault doesn't seem that good because we didn't have any big bombs. Here we have the Newgate, but not sure that that's what we want. Let's get another one from the search. Yeah, Newgate seems good if our opponent's playing the Nami. Nami is very good in their deck because they will make sure they always have a Dawn under Sabo, so they can protect their characters. But Newgate also can KO that Nami for free. Let's swing for 8. See what they do. They take it. That's the advantage of swinging high. They start at 4 lives, so do we. So the more damage we cause faster, the better. Not gonna lie, that Karasu is a very good card here. They literally can minus our leader and make it very easy to attack you. So yeah, we have to deal with this and make sure they don't keep minusing us, because yeah, it's definitely an easy way out for them. Right, just minus our leader, put us at 4k, swing for 5, 6, and eventually it's hard to block or to counter out of things. So let's drop a blocker here. It can help to, in case our opponent starts to develop board. Karasu is out, so it's one less thing to worry about, but we never know if our opponent doesn't have another one. And that Rush Ace is a good card to have because it makes it harder for them to get rid of it. I'm not sure about their build yet, if they have a lot of KO effects, but if they do, we can have that ace sticking around for a while. So yeah, at 6 Dawn, I'm not sure what our opponent can do. Maybe they have another Karasu, maybe they have another Revolutionary Army characters in their hand, maybe it's a totally different build, so basically now it's an incognito. They play a Sabo, so this is a bit annoying because they can keep the Sabo on board with the Dawn under the leader. So that's exactly what they want to do with this deck, right? Have the blockers out, protect it from KO, make sure that they always have a blocker around, make sure that I can't get rid of their board. So yeah, it's a very good start for our opponent. We are already at 2 life. That's not very stable, but also put us within range for Marco. It all depends if we want to go more defensive or if attacking is the way to go. I feel that at this point we have to deal a little bit with our opponent's life or their hand if they want to give us cards, because if we don't focus on attacking our opponent, they will put us down, and then we'll have a big gap to fill. This is a free block for them, but some people don't take it. Some people get they get worried, and in this case I'm trying to bait them, because after that we can, if they block with Sabo, Sabo will be rested and we can play an ace, and it's much more cards from their hand to get away from Ace's attack. So let's see if they fall for the bait and they block with Sabo, and they don't. They give us a counter, so that was the right decision for our opponent. Now they can, this is a free block for them because they just block -1 Sabo, and yeah, we have nothing else to do here. We don't have a Dawn. If we had a Dawn we could attack with Izo as well on him, but attacking with Doffy here could be an option as well, but it was easy to block and or to counter, and our blocker would be rested, so maybe better to keep it for defense. Also they could go for our ace and clear it out, and I want to have those bodies around. Another Karasu, that is a problem, not gonna lie, that makes it very much harder for us to counter, like now, right? 8k at 4k, a very strong attack. So yeah, let's block this out, see, and our opponent decides not to attack with the Sabo because they also don't know if we have anything going on. Playing that Newgate is harsh in this match because whenever we tap it to KO something, they can just give -1 and protect it. But we have to try to get rid of that Karasu anyway. So let's get rid of that ace, the 7 cost ace. We can KO the Moria here, but yeah, it's the strongest character on board, so let's go for it. So 7 on 5, our opponent has to give us something here if they don't want to take the damage, or they have to use their ability, block and use their ability with Sabo. Hopefully they'll block and use their ability, so that gets out of the way. So let's see what are their choice, and let's go 6. So yeah, they counter out, so we can go another 6 here, or we can go more defensive. I feel that we're not at that stage yet of being too concerned of defending. So let's go 5. Maybe they will block with that Sabo here, or they'll give us a 1k. I don't think that they would block here because, oh, and they do. So now it's much harder for them to counter out. Maybe they didn't have the counter, I'm not sure, but yeah, I feel that they reversed the order there. So they have a full board. It's very tough for us. They can make us 4k with that Karasu, so Yeah, we're in a tough spot here. Not the best situation for us. And they drop a Kid Killer. That's massive for them. First attack with Karasu, minus us, so let's get out of this one while we can. You never know if they'll distribute the Dawn around and like push harder on the next attack, so we definitely should counter when we can here. Our opponent can still go for game if they distribute the Dawn correctly, but also I understand they don't know our hand, they don't know how much counter power we have, so they get a bit skeptical. They know that we're filtering our hand all the time, so I understand that the psychological factor counts when you see a lot of cards in your opponent's hand and you know that the crackback will be very harsh if you go all out. So I understand our opponent's position. They go 11 on 7. We can save Ace, but it's a big commitment. We have to give all the cards in our hand, all the counter power in our hand. We would still have 2 cards in our hand, and they could still KO it with Kid Killer. So yeah, it's a tough choice here, so we have to let it go. Hard to see it going, but we need to. That's not much to be done. And they probably will go for the other Ace. This one we should protect, right? Because if we counter this one and they try to go for it just with leader, we can give -2. Actually, if they try to go with Sabo as well, we can still protect it. So yeah, the only way for them to get rid of it would be to swing for 7 with Sabo and then for 5 with leader. But it's a very specific combination. I'm quite sure our opponent didn't think about that. They did the most obvious. They gave 1 Dawn to the leader and went for it, trying to get rid of it. At that stage they wouldn't be able anymore because we could -2 with Sabo. So now we're in a tough spot. Very, very tough here. Let's give -2 to maybe to the Sabo, because if they try to block with it, we can make sure it's gone. That Carazo is pretty annoying there. We bottom deck the Sanji because we need all the counter power we can get. Also we need the blockers. So yeah, let's go all out. Either our opponent has the counter power for all this or they don't. So let's go 7 with Izo. We can go, after that we can go maybe 7, 8, 8. And if they have the counter, good. But yeah, if they have the counter, we're done, but chances are they have a lot of cards in their hand. So let's see what they do here. They block, that's a good sign for us. And let's swing for 8 and hope they don't have it. And they don't have it. So good game. And our last match is against Reiju. Reiju can be very explosive, can build a board very fast. And honestly, I would prefer those pilafs to be in life. It's much better to get the cards with the trigger instead of spending 3 Dawn. So let's put one, let's bottom deck one. The Newgate here is very important because we can KO their board. And also let's hope they don't have an ETG out of the bat. They draw Reiju. from the Jeremiah event. So yeah, either they didn't find the HG or they already have it, so they don't care. Let's attack for 8, put them down to 3 life, and see what our opponent has for us. Like, yeah, 5k is something we can counter out. There's no reason for us to take this little damage here. The only point's like, should we keep the Luffy to order the top of the deck and also have a blocker out? Maybe yes, so let's give the 2k. They throw down a Porsche, and from the Porsche they will play maybe an Ichiji. Let's see what comes out. A Reiju. So yeah, they don't replace it with the big Reiju, so that's fine. Let's give minus 2k to Porsche and go from there. Maybe we can get rid of that little Reiju there, so they have to spend Dawn if they want to be able to use it, to play the big one. One option could be to KO Porsche, but Reiju seems more appealing because we'll force our opponent to throw the Reiju paying the cost, unless they have another one. 6 at lead, they should counter out this one. You don't want to go that down in life, unless you're digging for things. Okay, they go for a Black Maria. Black Maria is very good in this deck because if you're too low on Dawn, you can get your Dawn back for attacking next turn. So if you're minusing too much, you don't care about it. Also, if it's in your hand, you get a 2k counter. So very good. Those Newgates there are a problem for our opponent because basically we can KO most of their deck if we combine leader ability with the Newgate. Let's block it. We don't want to lose life very quickly. And they had another Reiju in their hand, so that allowed them to replace it. Very good. But our hand, even that we don't have a lot of cards, they're very strong against this type of deck. The bad side of this is we don't have a lot of counter power, just get our first 2k here, which is not good. Let's put the other Newgate on top. For now we don't need it, and minus that Reiju so we can attack it. First we KO the big Reiju there. Now we attack 6 on 3, hardly our opponent will defend that. A problem here is that we didn't take their life down. Okay, a 5k attack we can counter it, so not a problem. And they have the HG, that's very good. They go 7 on 6, we have no counter power. Maybe we should have taken that damage so we would have cards to protect our board. We get that Newgate, which in this situation is very powerful. We can play it, we can give a Dawn to our leader, and we can still KO. So first let's use leader ability, see what we get from it, because the card can always change our decision. Maybe we can get rid of that Luffy. I know it would be counter power, but also we have 4 life. We're not in a position where we are desperately in need of counter, and we can play the silvers minus the HG and go for it. So yeah, we can just minus the HG, kill the blocker maybe, and attack the HG. But it's safer to just kill the HG directly. I know that the other option would clear our opponent's entire board, but it's not like that minus 2k power will do something this turn. It's not a... To attack for 5k our opponent would have to commit 7 down. I'm quite sure that that wouldn't be the way for them. And a judge here, very good. Yes, that's what our opponent wants to see. So they are living the dream. A lot of cards in their hand. HG out. So we don't have a clear answer for everything they have at the moment. We can maybe... Oh, okay, this silver is very good here. So maybe we can get back one of those aces and work with what we got. That silver is very good. I could decide to get back the Newgate as well, so the ace has counter power. But yeah, I feel that we will slow down the pressure a lot if we play, and we can if we can KO some of their board here. Also, playing the silvers permanently minus some stuff, but yeah, we can hold the silvers for a later round where we're in a tougher position, because that would give us less done to attack something, and we can go 8. Our opponent lets it go. I thought that they were going to use the chopper for that. We have a free KO here with Newgate, and now we can hit for 8. They have a lot of cards in their hand, so I don't feel they are in trouble. But I also feel our opponent's not finding anything meaningful, so they are struggling a bit, because we could KO everything that was strong attacker up to now. We still have this judge to deal with, but we already have ways to do that. If we counter out of that attack, they could go for our board. So yeah, it was good to keep the cards to be able to defend our Newgate. But they decide not to do that. They decide just to go clearly for just to go all out for the leader. I'm not sure that was the best choice for them, since we have some KO power in this deck. Those choppers, they don't matter, to be honest with you. You can play as many choppers as you want. Definitely not concerning. So yeah, let's send an ace away, and now it's time to deal with that judge. We can KO it with silvers, or we can KO it with Newgate. There are plenty of options here. Anything we do will help here. The optimal way to do it would be -3 on the judge, -2 on the Niji, KO the judge, and then attack into the Niji and KO the Porsche with the Newgate, but the outcome will kind of be the same. Yeah, on the other option, actually, we would grant that, we would make sure that they don't have any other attackers on the board. Here we can just get rid of any of them. Yeah, it's not like if they play the Niji they can bounce anything or do anything with it. So definitely not something that worries us. They will come out for a 7k attack with their ETG. At least that's what I expect from them now. We have the counter for this, so we don't want them to be able to kill us with an ETG attack. So yeah, that's exactly what they do. Probably they'll go for board because they have to clear it. If they don't, it's much easier for us. And we have the ace. Here is a no-brainer, right? We can deploy it, give -3, but let's see, maybe the leader ability will give us something better. And it gives us another Silver's Rayleigh, which is a granted KO on the ETG. So yeah, it's definitely the way to go here. We can, yeah, and the opponent decided that they can't play anymore, so GG. And that's it for today. There are a few adjustments that I would do in this deck. Right, maybe change a little bit the proportions, because I feel that there is space for this card here. It's very good to bottom deck to 6 costs at certain time. Even against Sabo, we saw that it was complicated to handle their board. Also, when the Purple Luffy put down those Magellans, we had difficulties to handle it because we would have to KO it, and by doing that we would go down 2 Dawn, right? So maybe I wouldn't play 4 of this. I would add 2 of this card. I could remove Seaquake. No, so like change a little bit the proportions, make it work for you. I see that I saw in the matches that I didn't play a lot of Ace as well. It's a very strong card, and maybe I underused it, but I'm still not 100% convinced about that. But I definitely would play 3 of this. Right, so that's something that definitely goes on the table here. Maybe something like this, I'm not sure, but yeah, I feel that this ace is pretty important in this deck. That's a card that I use it a lot in the matches, as you could see. So yeah, you would maybe playing around with some of the proportions here, changing a little bit in looking at your purples. If you want more KO, if you want to rush people down faster, if you want to have a more control deck and you want to invest in one more pudding, that's definitely something you can explore. I tried to make it work with this ace, but the payback was not that high, because I would end up with 2 characters on the table and then people would get rid of them kind of easily, because one is a 5 cost, another one is a 4 cost. But if you feel that there's a space for that, you can play with this. It's kind of the same idea. You set the top of your deck, play this, reveal the top, play the top card. For that I would increase a little bit the number of 4 cost characters and 3 cost characters in the deck. Now you would only get benefit out of playing the Duffy blocker or the Marco blocker. So maybe having Speed Jills or investing in King Dew, and he's also a 2k. Those are options if you want to run that blue ace. I didn't find a space for him. So yeah, this is something I definitely would increase. Maybe I would explore one or two of this card as well, but it's 5 for 6. If you don't have a lot of events in the deck, it's something that the opponent can handle, so just be mindful of that. It's a very fun deck to play, right? So if you tweak it around and you make it look the way you want with the purples that you want, you'll have a lot of fun playing it. But I don't think that it's a meta deck at this stage. So yeah, unless you find the right balances and everything. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you like it. And please, if you do, click on like, subscribe, and that will definitely give us a reason to keep throwing around more content and preparing more nice stuff. Thank you very much again, and see you next week.